Hello, everyone. It's Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Wasteland, my weekly show where I take a deep dive into a particular film. And I feel like this is the crown jewel of my series on Hayao Miyazaki, as his most beloved, critically acclaimed, and award-winning film, Spirited Away, is the subject of this week's episode. And joining me, our throuple, it is myself, my wife, and our friend Paige. So there you go.
Wow.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Package deal. Paige made sure that we were a package deal.
Yeah.
And we were going to have another guest. Unfortunately, my brother Ethan couldn't make it, but
Scratched.
maybe I'll get some of his thoughts and I can edit those in. We shall see. For those who haven't tuned into the show before, we have three segments. So we do have coming attractions for the last Friday of July 2025. So wrapping up the big blockbuster month of movies this year. Then we'll get into our feature film Spirited Away and then give you some recommendations as well. So hopefully you walk away from this with all kinds of stuff to go check out. But let's start with coming attractions. Like I mentioned, 3 out of 4 weekends this month have had major blockbusters coming out, and this one is Marvel's latest entry into the MCU, The Fantastic Four First Steps. We also have a new comedy, Oh Hi, and a laundry list of a whole bunch of other limited and streaming releases. Paige, which movie were you most excited about?
Osiris, because I love the name. Ancient Egyptian gods are the special interest of almost every other autistic person I know as well. And also it's true, Jess, don't make that face.
Okay. Whatever.
And I also have been into reading about aliens lately.
Yeah, so this film is indeed about a special military group who get abducted by aliens and have to fight their way through this giant ship.
Mhm.
Um, Also starring Linda Hamilton, who's
Oh wow.
still acting. So she was like a special forces woman from like Russia or something,
Classic.
or Eastern Europe, because she had an accent in the movie. Which,
Of the script Eastern European accent.
yeah, I did get to check this one out. And if you like shoot 'em ups and shooting up aliens, it has that for 100 minutes. So enjoy. So there's Osiris, and then Jess and I picked the same film, which is the biggest film coming out this week, is Fantastic Four First Steps. Jess, why are you excited about First Steps?
Daddy.
Is that Daddy Pascal that you're specifically talking about?
The one and only.
There you go.
No, I want to see what that thing is staying. I want to see what that's about.
What, Galactus?
No, isn't the big rock guy the thing or whatever?
Oh, yes, the thing.
Yeah.
Played
That
by,
thing is hanging.
yes, played by Evan Moss Backrack of the Bear fame.
I can't
So
believe
there
they
you go.
actually turned him into a rock monster for this.
Of
Wow.
course they did.
True. Off screen. It'll make
Well,
the bear
technically Michael Chiklis was a they did turn him
Yeah,
into
it
a
was
rock
practical.
monster.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Like he did have a costume
Yeah.
on,
That's the only way to do it, honestly.
Yeah.
which
Above all, remain committed to the bit.
but I
Social
also
testing.
picked Fantastic for the First Steps because at this point I'm still on the MCU train. I have yet to get off the MCU train, and I am cautiously optimistic that fourth time is the charm for them to
Oh my god,
finally.
this is the Fantastic Four.
This is the fourth reboot, like the fourth go around for the Fantastic Four. There's the Roger Corman early 90s one that never got released in theaters because it was that
Oh, I
bad.
saw clips of it. Yeah, it was
We
pretty
watched
horrible.
it.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
It's on the
It's
internet. You can
horrible.
watch it now.
I love trash.
And then the two Tim Story ones that like most people knew about in the early aughts. And then the Fan Four Stick, that terrible abomination of a movie. And I'm excited about this one. Pedro Pascal was an interesting choice for Reed Richards. I'm in on it. Vanessa Kirby is a fantastic actor.
And
Looking
she actually got pregnant for this movie. Can you believe it? It's immersive.
so yes, she does have a baby in it. But then yes, she is indeed pregnant on the press tour right now. So that's an interesting choice. I don't know if I like what they're doing with Johnny Storm because they're like, it's not really cool to be a womanizer in 2025. I'm like, that's the whole entire like Johnny's kind of a
I
dick.
mean, it can be
So
cool depending on how you do it, as long as you're not like sexist.
well, the thing is, it's like Johnny's supposed to be kind of a dick. So I'm like, okay,
You can
I'm
slang
interested
them.
to see how they handle that. And then the Thing is one of my favorite superheroes because I like the heavy.
I
Um,
realized like after the third or fourth trailer watch that I am conflating the Fantastic Four with the guys from Venture Brothers. Like the guy who has to be kept in a oxygen-free chamber because he just combusts all the time.
well, because they're all spoofs of the
I
Fantastic Four
know. I
characters.
just
So,
realized that I was conflating the two, and I know way less about the Fantastic Four than I
but
thought.
what I'm most excited about is the villain of this new movie because this time they are including Galactus, and he's not a giant cloud
He's the biggest
this
bad.
time. And Ralph Ineson of The Witch and Green Knight fame is portraying him. So I'm very
Oh
excited
wow.
about that.
He's a great timbre in his voice.
Yes. And it's going to be awesome as he is like alien the size of like the Empire State
He's not a
Building.
celestial, right?
We're gonna have to see how they
Okay.
incorporate him into things in the MCU. From what I understand, he's supposed to be a singularity. Like there is only one Galactus in the multiverse.
Okay.
So like there's no other Galactus. And I think that's gonna come into play because everybody loves a multiverse
No
story in
Galacta.
2025.
Okay.
And I'm assuming this is going to directly connect into Avengers Doomsday for next year. So we shall see.
Shut up and eat your slop, Paige.
But also, this movie's an hour and 55 minutes, and I'm a little sad they did confirm that John Malkovich's character got completely cut from the movie
Oh, we love a smarmy John Malkovich.
Mhm.
because there's supposed to be a bunch of like Paul Walter Hauser's playing Mole Man. So they're gonna have a bunch of like classic Fantastic Four villains in it. But those are coming attractions. So obviously Fantastic Four is going to make the most money this weekend. Competing against Superman and totally not Eddington that came out this weekend before, because that's totally going to make a ton of money from Ari Aster about COVID
Yeah, that
lockdown.
those crowds often run together, I think.
But let's get into Spirited Away. So I do have some background if my phone wants to cooperate. Oh, pulling up my Google Doc here. So I have some notes here. This film was released in Japan in 2001, released in the United States in 2002. This had a budget of
Mm,
$19.2 million and made $396 million worldwide. So this was an absolute certified like monster hit for Studio Ghibli, which
Certified banger.
great
and it is a
success.
certified banger on top of that. And honestly, I doubt that any movie has come anywhere close since with their films, so this is still their biggest hit. Miyazaki based his protagonist on producer Saiji Okuda's daughter.
Oh,
So, like spending time with this 10-year-old girl, he's just like that's how he kind of
I'm
came up with the
inspired.
character. John Lasseter of Pixar convinced Disney to handle the North American distribution of this film. So not only did they it wasn't just like they released a dub of this later, they actually released this in the United States through the theaters, which is what I think contributed Disney helping making this a giant hit here domestically in
I
North
saw it.
America.
I saw it on its first run.
Um Highest grossing film in the history of Japan.
Wow.
So, and up until Demon Slayer beat it
Oh yeah, that
19 years
you know
later,
what that tracks.
which that anime blew the hell up when that came out a couple years ago during COVID. It was one of the biggest COVID openings
Yeah,
anime out of Japan. Um, Anime fans will go out to the theaters and go check out their movies. Co-winner of the Golden Bear at the Berlin Film Festival, which I think is an incredibly big deal that an animated film won top prize at one of the premier film festivals, won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, which is the only second award of Best Animated Feature they had given out because the year before Shrek won the first one. So, and then Spirited Away won the second one. And then Pixar had to wait, oh no, 2 whole years until they finally won one in '03 with Finding Nemo,
Yeah,
and
that
then
tracks.
started their dominance for like the next 15 years before they've completely fallen off and have not really been.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
But Miyazaki read shoujo manga magazines like Nakayoshi and Reborn to try to better understand young girls, preteen girls, to try to like make a more authentic protagonist. Miyazaki's two previous follow-ups to Princess Mononoke were actually rejected by Studio Ghibli. So that's why it took this long in between films, because his other two ideas got shot down, but all of them had to do with bathhouses. Because he wanted to tell a story because his hometown had a giant bathhouse in it and was very interested in trying to leverage that into a story. So, if you do not succeed writing your first two films about bathhouses, keep going because you might just get the third one made into a $400 million movie worldwide. That's the lesson of the story.
Okay.
So, Miyazaki was intrigued by the mystery of all the doors in a bathhouse. So, like, he just had this visual. I'm like, what interesting things could be behind them? And sure, did we find some interesting things in Spirited Away that were behind all these bathhouse rooms? Miyazaki expanded his computer generation on this film after 5% of Princess Mononoke was digitally created. Basically, this film, almost everything was digitally relayered after
Mm.
being
That makes
hand
sense.
drawn.
Okay.
Then the original concept called for a 3 hour film. So he had to really work to trim this down an hour to get it to where he needed it to be.
That's pretty long.
Yeah, the designs of the buildings were pseudo-Western style of the Meiji period of Japan.
Meiji.
Meiji. Another inspiration was a traditional
Oh.
Japanese inn in Yamagata Prefecture. And so like he seems to be the kind of filmmaker that like he does extensive background going around traveling trying to find like the perfect places to base his drawings off of for settings. Some cinematic influences were Snow White and the Shepherdess and the Chimney Sweep. So like that's actually one title, the Shepherdess and the Chimney Sweep. But yeah,
Oh.
Snow White was a big influence on this film apparently. And lastly, Miyazaki cleaned a disgusting river, which is what inspired the river spirit
Makes
scene.
sense.
So he channeled his own experiences and his penchant for environmental messages to try to channel that sequence, which is disgusting. But they did some good work.
Makes sense though, because like I love to watch magnet fishing, and when they pull shit out of the river, it looks like that. It's all covered in silt and goo and stuff. Yeah, and
Oh.
it's rarely by itself.
But so, Spirited Away, a 2 hour and 4 minute film, is a coming of age fairy tale fantasy. During her family's move to the suburbs, a sullen 10-year-old girl wanders into a world ruled by gods, witches, and spirits, and where humans are changed into beasts. So, that is very broad strokes. As to be honest, this movie doesn't have like a very strict narrative thread to it. But all that being said, we'll go around the horn. Paige, would you like to start giving your general thoughts on the film?
No, I would like someone else to start.
Jess, would you like to give your general thoughts on the film?
Is round the horn referring to the Cape Horn? Right, I'll look it up later.
Jess, I don't know where the term came from,
Because like that was a big thing anyway.
but there
That one
was
big
a
sailing
show
week.
on ESPN for 20 years about a whole bunch of boxes on a screen and them going around the
Oh, I
horn
know. I
talking
just
about sports.
realized. I mean, anyway, let's back to a country that wasn't really known for sailing the seas. What was the
You're
question?
the
General
weeb.
thoughts?
You're the
Yes,
weeb here. You gotta go first.
We don't say weeb anymore. It's fine to like anime now. I was shocked.
yeah, it's cool to like
I
anime
love that
now.
though.
You know,
I love that kids don't have to suffer through mild bullying like I did.
yeah,
At least
kids
for
don't
that.
have to get made fun of for loving Spirited
We'll get
Away.
made fun of for something else, but not that.
I'll bully you still.
No, this makes sense. I see a lot of cinephile memes now, and they put Spirited Away as like you gotta pick a Miyazaki movie to be your favorite. If you don't pick Spirited Away, and in some cases Princess Mononoke, you're a poser. You're not a cinephile. They
Okay.
exile you from the club immediately.
But Jess, what are your general thoughts on Spirited Away?
I love this movie. I mean, I still love this movie. It's still my favorite. It does bring me back. So my mom enabled me forever with everything, and at this point in my life, I think I was 10 when this came out, 11. She took me to the theater to see this. So shout out to Sue for enabling me and taking me to the theater to see this. And it was magical then, and it's still great now. I mean, I really love the world building and I love the little details. And every time I watch it, I feel like I see something new. And I wish that I crocheted something from one of the numerous Spirited Away patterns that I have before I'm
Well,
talking now.
now you can.
I mean, I still could. It just would have been
Yeah.
more on theme.
And you
to
could
do
have had it
beforehand.
with you sitting
Yeah.
here on
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah, it's just like this time I noticed how Chihiro slash Sen, I guess it never sunk in the reason why No Face isn't able to eat her or take advantage of her is that she doesn't take anything from him. Like she's there to serve, she's not there to take. And everyone else is kind of there for selfish reasons, but she's not.
Mhm.
So that was something that I saw, and it reminded me of Adam Savage's No Face costume from Comic-Con. Look that up if you haven't seen it. It's great.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
And he walked around with gold coins to try to give them to people.
Just bribing.
Well, you can always
Bribing
tell
people.
who saw the movie because they would not take the coins.
There you go.
Oh, okay. I mean, I still, if it was real life, I'd probably still take the coins because I know
Well,
it's real and it's at a comic convention.
whatever, Paige. It's no magic. But it reminds me of my grandpa. One of his many life lessons was there's no such thing as a free lunch, and nobody in this world owes you a goddamn thing.
Well, in this situation, if
So
you take the money, then you become lunch.
yeah, and I'm very proud. I
That is-
remembered what the little I think it's Compedo candies were.
There you go.
That's all that was important to me about this movie, Shane. Nothing else.
How about you, Paige?
I feel like I have a different perspective than Jess because I was never and still am not really like a huge Japanese animation. I'm not really a big animation fan in
No,
general.
you weren't that flavor of neurodivergent. You were the Egyptian gods flavor.
I'm more into the occult. That's more my thing. But among many other weird interests. But like so I saw this movie for the first time as an adult several years ago. So I think it was an interesting experience to watch this movie for children that is very, fairy tale esque. And as you said, doesn't have a super like clear and structured and defined narrative. So it was interesting to watch it for the first time as an adult because I think especially when I first saw it like several years ago, I tried to kind of impose some kind of order or like sense on it for the first half. And then I'm like, I think I should just fucking relax and vibe and just like enjoy the meandering journey and not like really worry about where it's going. And I enjoyed it much more after that. And so when the three of us watched it together this afternoon, that's more what I was trying to do. I was just vibing. And like I think that's the proper way to enjoy this film. Just go in, let it take you where it takes you, and just like enjoy the magic of it.
Well, and the one of the reasons why I didn't ask my general question of like, what was your experience watching this film and stuff like that is because yes, all three of us watched this together like not that long ago.
Like what,
We
2 hours
recorded.
ago?
Yeah, so we did watch this all together, and we
Yeah.
did listen. We did watch the dub version that they have on Max. They do have the Japanese audio,
Yeah, watch both.
which like at least they do a really good job with the dubbing for these Disney releases. Because like
I think they
I've
do.
certainly watched plenty of dubs that have horrible
Mm.
voice castings that just ruin the movie.
Mhm.
And also, don't watch dubbed live action movies. That's just weird. Um, animation you could get away with a little bit more, but this is because I've been re-ranking all of these as I've been going on with this series, and this is still my number two. behind Princess Mononoke, so I guess I still
Shane
fit
craves
the
blood.
I guess I still fit the memes on cinephile memes that I'm pretty sure from that one page on Instagram that we both follow. That make fun of cinephiles. It's a self-hating
Yeah,
cinephiles
I keep getting
Instagram
more
page.
recommended now too. I'm just
Yes.
collecting them.
But this film is obviously geared towards like a family kind of experience because like Princess Mononoke is very violent and
Yeah, yeah,
bloody and
yeah.
not for kids.
It's way more brutal than
This
that.
film is about a 10-year-old girl.
Hmm.
It is made for kids,
No one's dismembered in this.
but just naturally anime out of Japan does not treat children the same way that American filmmakers treat children. So
Like they're stupid.
there's no kid pacing. Things aren't like hyper high energy and obnoxious
Yeah.
and run through like big emotional elements within like 3 minutes because kids can't handle it. But this is a very mature approach to telling a fairy tale for kids, and it takes its time. It really has you sit in this world because also a big potential roadblock for American viewers watching something like this is like you can tell without knowing specifically that this is very Japanese.
Hmm.
Like there's probably a lot of cultural layers to this that probably go unnoticed by American audiences. And, some things might be a little clearer why they're happening versus others. And just understanding like how spirits are represented in Japanese culture and stuff like that. But I think this film doesn't like treat you like you're dumb, but it does help guide you through this very interesting and dynamic world of, there's just ghosts, there's frog people, there's witches, there's
Yeah.
like river spirits and whatever no faces, some kind of
He's some kind of like yokai type of. I mean, I think he kind of looks like the. They're not no masks, but
mhm.
the glitter masks.
But like no face has an amazing design. The like the river spirit after it's clean has a really cool
Yeah, he looks
interesting
like one of
design.
those glitter masks,
um Obviously the uh
and he's a dragon.
both
Wow.
Yubaba and Zaniba, who are identical twins, have that Miyazaki old lady look.
Baba Yaga.
Very specifically all the old ladies in his movies have the same face.
We
And
love the mole ladies.
Yeah.
Haku as in his dragon form is really cool. And you know
He's a Kieran.
the who was the character in like the boy? Oh, that's just the boiler room.
No, it's not Kojima. It starts with a K.
Like with him and all of his limbs and stretchy limbs and
Yeah, I
everything,
love his
his big
design,
mustache and
Mr.
everything.
Spider-Man.
Yes. We did confirm that he probably would be the life of a party at certain parties. But it's a very interesting dynamic in terms of all of these characters in the world building because few films feel so fleshed out with all kinds of strange characters and creatures and just the production design of this bathhouse is so cool and interesting and dynamic. And just the imagery of like even the train on the water that's
Mhm,
like mostly submerged
mhm,
and just all of that. And this film's very subversive in terms of this whole entire film builds up to like some kind of climax against an evil witch to find out that honestly the climax is like the most wholesome part of the whole entire movie and it's just heartwarming and genuine. And it's one of those kinds of things where it's just like you have to think about how you have perspectives on people and where you're getting your information from because like should anybody trust Yubaba that her sister is evil when Yubaba is evil?
Yeah, she puts
Um,
out quite a
Mhm.
good propaganda campaign.
yes, and all those kinds of things. And this is just a wondrous experience to go along. And like, I have some friends who think this is actually really highly overrated and
Mm.
don't really appreciate it.
In a
And
sense
Okay.
of
Well, they can
wonder.
be wrong.
I will not name names. One of my guests from my last episode on Princess Mononoke, but if you do listen to that episode, you'll quickly realize which one of them really does not like Spirited Away. But like it's one of those kinds of films that, to your point, Paige, you have to sit back and just let yourself get drenched and engulfed in this experience because it is an experiential kind of film. This isn't plot driven. There's no consistent MacGuffins throughout the film that are like keeping the plot going forward. It's just this young girl is put through a bunch of situations where she has to learn life lessons, which she does. I think this film sets up a lot of good lessons for kids about hard work. My grandfather would love this. This is his perspective. It's like we're gonna put you to work in the put you to work in the bathhouse at 10 years old.
It's,
And
I mean, it's brutal work too.
well, and there's that pressure and like that classic, like, and also the importance of your name and
Hmm.
your identity and how that becomes such a big anchoring piece to this. But it's just such a wondrous journey from start to finish. And it's so engrossing in that way. And I have to keep giving him props every single one of these episodes. But Hisashi, who is the composer on
Oh, it's a great soundtrack.
all of Miyazaki's films, just crafts such a beautiful
Mhm.
score for this, and it just really captures the Japanese culture of it all, but also this fantasy feel. It feels like it just accentuates that you're in this other kind of
Mhm.
existence. But
Yeah.
I guess the both of you, what other things did you want to throw out? Things that stood out to you, maybe didn't work so well?
I love the minor characters. Like the radish guy, the Daikon radish guy gets me every single time. Like, yeah, I know what to expect from him. Also, he's such a bro because he just goes along with whatever.
Yeah.
We love that. We love a silent helper. Um, but I just love that. And the even the ducks you see waddling in the beginning, like all the spirits have really cool designs.
Yep.
And I think there probably is a lot of stuff that's missed. Like I was trying to look in the background for like certain
Hmm.
characters or certain colors. Let's see.
Yeah, I feel like I just, because I'm not, as I said, a huge fan of just like Japanese like anime, I am 1000% sure I missed context that probably even you guys picked up on, like, which I guess on one hand, maybe is a detriment to my enjoyment and understanding of the story, but on the other hand, it really forced me to just truly vibe. Like, I
Hmm.
am getting nothing out of the story but vibes. Like, there's no thoughts, and I think it's okay to enjoy this movie that way, especially because it's,
Yeah.
it's a movie.
Well,
So I
and
don't know.
it's hard to have an expectation for like a whole entire country to have like a deep understanding of
Yeah.
cultural um layers like this because Japanese culture is very interesting.
Mhm.
And I think if we're gonna rank, then Jess definitely knows most about Japanese culture out of the
Yeah.
three of us. Um, and I wish Ethan was here because my brother is a humongous anime fan. So I was hoping to get him on one of these
Mhm.
Miyazaki episodes. But like it's that kind of experience. And I forgot to mention, I never watched a single Studio Ghibli film until I was an adult. Because like these were not movies that were shown, like we didn't own any of them. They weren't movies that I watched as a kid. I watched obviously a lot of Pixar, a lot of Disney animation, a lot of action movies. Honestly, because my mom loves action movies. Like I watched a whole bunch of movies I probably shouldn't have been watching. I've had seen almost every single James Bond by the time I was 7. Um, so like that was my kind of vibe growing up as a kid. But like I didn't see any of these until I was adult. The only one that I actually saw anything of was when I went to my neighbors, and I told this story last week. Um, was because I went over my neighbors and my neighbor Mr. Wallace was watching Princess Mononoke and I didn't know what it was.
Miss Wallace is so cool.
And I saw this giant infected boar
Mm.
just stampeding through this and it scared the shit out of me because I probably was like 9.
Mm.
And I was not prepared for that. And it was one of those things where like that burned into my brain. And then as an adult, I watched Princess Mononoke. I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm like, that's that
Yeah.
movie. And
Wow.
adding those layers.
Good movie though.
It did not scar
Mm.
me as much as The Mummy did. when my
Oh, I hated
brother and my
that.
cousin
Mm.
made me watch some of that as
My
a
mom
kid.
and I went to Universal when I was like 10. So right. No, I think that was
Well, because
that
like,
trip in November
well,
of
because like the Mummy
2001.
came out in '99, so like I was 8 years old. By the time it was on TV, it was probably 2001, 2002.
Yeah, no,
So like I was still 10 or 11 years old.
I went on the ride before I saw the movie, and I watched a ride through of it. It's pretty scary. Like, I think going on the I don't know if you went, Paige, when you went to Universal, but like,
I haven't been on the ride. No, I've actually never seen The Mummy, which, like, I've heard that's one of the most bisexual
yeah, it's
movies
everybody's
out there.
bisexual awakening.
Yeah, so I really should
There's a
sit down
lot
and
of
give it a
It's for
try.
very
millennials.
attractive people in that movie. But getting back to Spirited Away, some of the scenes that really stood out to me. One, I love that river spirit scene because it builds tension and suspense because like there's a couple of quick little sequences where they're like something's coming in the rain. What would be coming through the town and like
Mhm.
in this and then you just there's this one shot where you just see like a mound looking walking towards the screen and you're
The
just like
smell.
what is this? And
Yeah.
then you finally see it and it's just like if you're a Pokemon fan, it basically looks like a brown version of muck.
Yeah.
Just like and this giant sludge
I'm
monster.
sure it's a metaphor. It's how the river feels.
And that whole entire sequence is so one cathartic. Like when they finally clean the spirit and like this strange shriveled up face thing just
Mhm.
comes up. It's like, thank you, or like whatever.
Well done.
Well done. And
Yeah.
just like, and then it just like
Yeah, it's a
flies
dragon.
and just like that whole sequence is so
Cute.
cool and it has great mystery to it. The whole chase sequence through the bathhouse with
Mhm.
No Face chasing after
Mhm.
Sen was wild.
Terrifying.
It's exhilarating, it's thrilling. This movie has some good action, even that sequence with Haku getting attacked by those
Mhm.
pieces of paper.
Yeah, the paper
Um Killing Haku with paper cuts. Um
death by a
and
thousand cuts.
and I honestly, one of my favorite scenes is just the at Zaniba's house at the end because
Yeah,
they're all like having such a wonderful time
yeah.
and it's so soothing and
It
warm.
scratches the right part of my brain with the crafts, and
Mhm.
she's so gentle. I
Yep.
mean, for what she is, she's such a nice old
She's
lady.
Granny.
That's why when I leaned over, I was like, Coles.
It's like
I
call
love
me
that.
Granny. And like there's so many wonderful scenes throughout this film and I think you wouldn't really consider this film a mystery, but I forgot who said this. Any great film is a mystery
Mm,
because any filmmaker grabs your interest by introducing things that you want to find out more about.
mm,
And anything you don't know is a mystery. And this, I think this is a great example of that because everything introduced in this film is initially a mystery, and you're like, what is this? And then it gives you enough space to be like, I want to know more about this. And then you keep going scene to
mhm,
scene and pulling back layers of this. And I think that's one of the reasons why this film was so successful and has stood the test of time because few fantasy films, which I would argue out of any genre, fantasy is the hardest one to make work because you have to create a whole entire other world first before
mhm.
anything else and make it not quite like not believable in that sense, but like it
Like
has
you have
to
to,
feel like it feels lived in.
it has to be cohesive.
Yes. And that's a and especially in live action, that's
Hmm.
so hard. Animation's a lot easier, which is why I feel like a lot of fantasy works better in
Hmm.
animation.
Well, you can manipulate it to be whatever you want it to be.
But Miyazaki creates like this bathhouse has so many interesting characters and ideas and all of these things in it. And obviously we watched the dub. So like I think the English speaking performances are really well done in this. I'm sure the Japanese ones because I don't think I've watched this one dubbed in
So,
subbed. I don't think I watched this one sub. There's a few of them that I actually saw in theaters sub. Like I saw Porco Rosso
mm,
subbed because that was the only showtime that I could go see for Ghibli Fest.
we saw Totoro sub too.
Yeah, because we saw Totoro subbed and then we saw it dubbed.
Hmm. I
Because
think it's subbed better. I don't know.
well, I
I think
think
because it's so, and this isn't about Totoro, but I think because it's so Japanese, like they're literally in the Japanese countryside.
well, and it's fun because like Japanese voice actors get like super into it, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun, and it just brings a whole other different kind of vibe to the experience. Also one of the reasons why I love listening to like Japanese baseball, because those announcers
They
get
get really
so into it.
You got to look up the mascots too.
There's a
It's
whole
the
other
best part.
energy. But I guess, do either of you have anything else you wanted to add to the discussion about Spirited Away?
I like how it shows and not tells. That's it. So we talked about that a little.
Yeah, this is definitely not a
There's no
movie that's going to be
exposition.
like sitting there just, let's explain
It
some
just
things
drops
to
you
you.
right in there. It's like, congrats, you're long now.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly where
Catch
uh
up.
we're Chihiro slash
So,
Sen, because we have to figure this all out just like she does.
Yeah.
So,
lucky.
Paige, do you have
But-
anything to add?
No, I'm just happy to be invited.
Awesome. Well, Paige, I'll start with you then. What would you like to recommend? And also, I feel like there's a side recommendation you should do to go along with the show you're going to recommend.
What?
Shameless Pugs.
Oh, I should shamelessly plug my stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what was yes, my recommendation is The Pit.
Never.
It's shut the fuck up. Yes, you have. It's all I talk about. It is if you aren't Jess and you don't know what it is, it's on HBO Max. Just got nominated for 13 Emmys.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
many Emmys.
That's 13 whole Emmys that it better win, or I will write a strongly worded letter to whoever.
That drama category is
Decides.
tough, though.
I refuse
But-
to watch it because they made a reference to Philly that was unfavorable. I don't care if it's true.
Well, because this is Pittsburgh, right? So, like, you should
Yeah.
expect them to.
There's like chaos in the ER and somebody yells, "This isn't Philly."
Well, you should expect
What?
that kind of Philly slander from Pittsburgh. That kind of just happens. But Paige, please talk about your recommendation.
And I'll talk more about why I hate it.
Oh my god, look. It's because did you just mute Jess, Shane?
How dare you?
I muted us.
How dare you, sir?
You're
Um,
disrespecting Paige's time.
I'm trying
So
to present balanced viewpoint.
I love it. I don't care. But I forgot what I was saying. Oh, no, but The Pit, it's really good. As a social worker myself who has like worked in a crisis setting, I can tell you it's very accurate. It is very gory. That's the only kind of warning I would give. And if you've ever worked in an ER, it might trigger your PTSD. But other than that, it's a great time.
and an interesting
Wow.
thing to point out, because each episode is 1 hour of one day, right?
Oh my god, they're doing
Yeah.
24.
Yes, the
Yeah.
show is like in real time, basically. So yeah, it's pretty fucked up, but it's definitely worth a watch. It's really engaging. And my sister and I have a podcast about the show, Evil Twins Podcast, on Instagram if you want to follow us. But even if you don't listen to my sister and I's podcast, you should still check out the show because it's really good.
Yes. It's getting a second season in like January, right?
January 2026. Yep. Counting down the days.
So
That's this January.
I have to finish Doom
Yeah, I know.
Patrol as my hour-long show that I'm binging, so then I could go watch The Pit before January. So there you go. Except I've been getting caught up just watching How I Met Your Mother. I've burned through almost the first 6 seasons of it, and now I have 3 left.
Speaking of unlikable people.
I
Yeah,
was
they're
gonna
all
say,
horrible.
Yeah, but it's not in a fun, It's Always Sunny way.
You know what? I can't
No,
help it.
no.
I'm still entertained. Like, I'm drawn into this.
It's not as bad as
show
the new
at
Sex
this
in the
point.
City.
No, it's
Wow, I
funny
hate
because I will not recommend.
Happily Ever After.
Oh, what the hell is it? Like, that's the thing. It should have just been called Sex in the City. Like,
Colon.
reboot it. It's and just like that. Yeah. So the spin-off, Jess will occasionally watch like
Oh my
parts
God,
of it because I put it on Thursday night
hate
before she goes to
watching
bed, and it's not great.
Every time anyone's on, I'm like, they're so unlikable.
I'm 2/3 of the way through the 3rd season.
Oh my
I'm already
God.
committed to this show at this
It's
point,
like sex,
and I
sex.
and I
That's
kind of
it.
just keep
No
watching,
city.
and I'm like,
All sex.
no, they talk about the city a lot, but that's not a recommendation. The Pit and the Evil Twins podcast are two actual recommendations. And Jess, what's your recommendation?
YouTube channel June 1st if you're a weather weenie. Check it out.
God.
He goes in depth about tornadoes and I think maybe other storms too. And maybe he's a storm chaser. I don't remember. He might be an engineer. Sorry. I think his name is Ethan Moriarty. If you watch this, I remember only the storms and not anything about you. Sorry.
His name's Moriarty?
Ethan Moriarty, I think.
That's cool. Like his real name is his Christian name is Moriarty. That's
government
really cool.
name, I believe, is
His
Ethan
government
Moriarty.
name.
Yeah. There's
I
no
can't
Sherlock
believe-
on there though.
Yeah. I can't believe Shane muted you, Jess. That's so funny. I wish I could do that.
I
to
can
you in
believe
real
it.
life.
I don't blame him either.
I was trying to be respectful of Paige.
I always talk
one
about
of my two guests on the show right now.
she's not even being respectful of herself. Look at her. Neither of us respect ourselves. Right now.
No.
Well, and then I'll get through my standard 3 recommendations: a new film, a watch list film, and a rewatch of one of our films. So, new film that I wanted to recommend, which is a new documentary on Disney Plus, is Jaws at 50. So you can watch this on Disney Plus or Hulu. This is a National Geographic documentary about the 50th anniversary of Jaws and the making of. And it's about an hour and 28 minutes. There's a lot of good content from Steven Spielberg, but also a lot of other people, from Robert Zemeckis to James Cameron to a bunch of other filmmakers. And also Emily Blunt got roped into this, I'm pretty sure, because she was filming Steven Spielberg's new film with him when they were making this documentary. But like, it has a great set of commentators, but also I think it's really interesting when they talk to a lot of the cast were just people from the island.
I didn't but it makes so much sense in retrospect.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, what an organic crowd in the background there.
So like, they talked to some of the key people that starred in the film from Martha's Vineyard and everything, and it's a very engaging, well put together, and entertaining documentary making of. And it also gives a really interesting perspective on what Jaws means to Steven Spielberg, which is not exactly what you would expect it to mean. Honestly, it was one of the biggest drivers of anxiety for him as a young filmmaker, because he's 27 years old.
A baby boy.
He's 27 when he made Jaws.
A tiny baby child.
But so that's there on Disney Plus or Hulu. And then off my watch list, which this is the subject of my 1930 episode of the Cinematic Wasteland with Luke and Adam, it's The Blue Angel. This film is, like I said, from 1930, directed by Josef von Sternberg, and starring Emil Jannings, and one of the first big roles for Marlene Dietrich. And it's a very interesting, really well made film. I'll have an interesting conversation tomorrow morning when I'm recording with Adam and Luke about this, because I already know that one of them does not like it at all based off of what I saw from their Letterboxd review.
Spoilers.
Which that's always an interesting thing, because the three of us always watch the movie beforehand, and then they always post Letterboxd reviews. I don't review anything that's not like a new movie.
Not
so like
Shane, the same reviews.
You go. But like, it's about an elderly professor who honestly throws his whole life away when he falls in love with a sexy club dancer and singer who's like a fraction of his age. And
We've
his
all
life
done it.
completely spirals. It's a wild ride for a film from 1930. Also, this is a German film and pre-code and all that fun stuff.
I was gonna say that sounds like some pre-Hays Code shenanigans.
Oh, it was.
Ooh.
Jannings gives a really great performance in it, and Dietrich is very electric. For those who don't know who Marlene Dietrich is, but have watched Blazing Saddles, that's who Madeline Kahn's supposed to be. I'm so tired. And because Marlene Dietrich had that exact voice. Because it's true. And then one of my rewatches, which is the subject of the Wasteland Vintage Roadshow for this month, which my friend Patrice is going to record with me also tomorrow. I'm going to have a busy morning before our movie marathon. But
damn, we have a whole day planned tomorrow. What are you doing?
And The Searchers, which is my favorite John Ford film. That was reinforced when I watched all 80 actually
Yeah, it didn't
available
change
John
anything
Ford
for me.
films.
Yeah.
No, The Searchers is still number one for me, and it's also one of my favorite films, which is why it's on the Vintage Roadshow. I think Ethan Edwards, played by John Wayne, is one of the most interesting, morally complex Western protagonists. And it's by far John Wayne's best actual performance as an actor. There's some moments where he really lets out some really impactful emotion. And there are some truly iconic shots in this film that are some of the best in any Western ever made. And it is thrilling. It's surprisingly funny throughout the whole time. Um, John Ford finds a nice balance of intensity, humor, and emotion throughout. And it has some interesting storytelling elements. Like there's a whole entire sequence that's told through a letter that peels
Mm-hmm.
back a lot of unexpected twists and
Mm.
turns in the story. But it's honestly arguably the greatest Western ever made. So if you are interested in expanding your Western genre watching, which I know Paige is not,
Stop.
you could go check out The
I'm
Searchers.
sorry, there's no aliens or occult crap in it,
You
Paige.
could watch Cowboys versus Aliens, and that is a Western with
Egyptian
aliens.
gods.
But Jess and I are huge Western fans, and honestly, some of the most important Westerns of all time I watched because of Jess.
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
You remember
gross.
that if you ever have to answer any questions about my movie tastes.
There we go. But those are my recommendations, and that is a wrap here on another episode of Welcome to the Wasteland. So, next week, as I'm moving along here, I'm getting to the very end of my Hayao Miyazaki series. I only have 4 more episodes, but I will be recording my Howl's Moving Castle episode soon with my Australian friends Adam and Alice and the fearless leader of the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network, Mike Hilty. And yes, I am the only one who calls him the fearless leader of the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. But he appreciates it, I'm sure. But Paige and Jess, thank you both so much for coming on and talking movies with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome, Shane.
And I hope all
Love
of
you.
you had much more fun than they let on. And thank you
Yeah.
so much for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.
To be fair, you knew what you were getting into and you invited us both.